Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Degenerates Show. I am your host, Frank Wible. This is the Week 8 predictions video. It's a little bit late. I missed Thursday night's game. In all fairness, I would have picked Atlanta, but we'll just say for argument's sake I didn't, because I don't want people to be like, well, he said he picked Atlanta, but he didn't actually pick Atlanta. So, alright, I didn't pick Atlanta. Now, this is my record for the year right now. I'm 22-20. Last week I was 1 under 500. Wasn't great. Didn't have a great week. Didn't have a bad week. Didn't have a great week. So, we'll bounce back this week. We're going to pick it up early. Sunday morning, 1 o'clock. Sunday afternoon, actually. Colts at Lions. And I have gone back and forth on this game over and over and over and over and over. I can't. The Colts, to me, are the team that are very difficult to bet on because you don't know if you're getting good Phillip Rivers or bad Phillip Rivers. This week, I think they get bad Phillip Rivers. And I'm going to go with the Lions plus 2.5. I don't believe in Phillip Rivers. And I think the Lions, their offense is going to do enough to put pressure on Rivers to win this game. And he's simply just not going to. So I'd absolutely take the Lions at home plus 2.5. Followed up, we're going to Cleveland. We've got the Raiders at the Browns. The Browns are really good when they play really bad teams. The Raiders have been struggling the past couple weeks. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'm going to go not only Raiders plus 2.5, which is the safe bet, but if you're feeling it, go Raiders outright. Get a couple extra dollars. Also, ride the hot hand. Raiders over 51.5. It's a lock. They're going to go over again. The only thing that would stop that is the weather in Cleveland on Sunday, which I don't have the weather reports in front of me. I usually look right before I take an over-under. But if the weather's bad in Cleveland, then maybe I hold off on that. But for right now, definitely go Raiders. And over 51.5. Rams at Dolphins. The first start at Tua Tagovailoa. I'm going with the Rams. And to me, Rams -3 is kind of weird. It makes me scared, like Vegas knows something, but I'm gonna take the Rams. The Rams looked good against Chicago this past week after looking bad against San Francisco. The Dolphins, I think Tua is going to be a good quarterback one day. I just don't believe it's going to be this day. The Rams are quietly having one of the best defenses in the NFL. I believe they're ranked second. That scares me if I was the Dolphins. I don't think this would have been the game I start Tua on. I understand he's got the bye week, an extra week to prepare, but that's not where I would go with it. So Rams -3. Up to the frozen tundra. Not quite frozen yet, but it's getting quite cold up there. We've got the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. This was a game that at the beginning of the year, I guarantee you NFC North fans were like, wow, this is a game for the division. You know, this would really put a team in the driver's seat of the division going on for the rest of the year. In reality, it's not. The Vikings look terrible. I'm obviously going to go with the Packers, -6.5. You're hoping that they can get healthy, you know, at the right time. They have a couple guys injured. I know Aaron Jones is out and stuff like that, but I think even with them out, I think the Packers would dominate. The Vikings' defenses look terrible. Their offenses looked atrocious. You know, Kirk Cousins looks just horrible. So I'd absolutely go Packers -6.5 right now. Even up to like 8 if it was the rise. Anything over might be too much, but I think the Packers just crush the Vikings this weekend. Moving to Orchard Park, New York, up to Buffalo. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. It's the Patriots at the Bills. This game's 3.5. The Bills have struggled the past couple weeks, and so have the Patriots. So probably expecting a struggle versus struggle matchup. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a game where Buffalo has been gunning for New England and the top spot of the AFC East for quite some time now. You know, in about probably the last 2-3 years, people started looking at the Bills like they could be the team that's going to give them some issue. And last year, you know, they had 2 close, hard-fought games. They ended up losing the division, but, you know, again, they'll never beat Tom. However, you have a very bad Patriots team right now, and I think the Bills are going to make an example of them in this game. I would absolutely say that the Bills are going to cover 3.5. Honestly, I'd say the Bills are going to cover 7 to 8. So definitely go with the Buffalo Bills. We go to a college spread today. Kansas City. The Jets going to Kansas City. The spread's at 20. 20. That is insane. That is a college spread. I'd take the Chiefs minus 30. There's no way I'm saying that the Jets are going to even come close to covering for this game. So this one doesn't need a whole lot of talking. I keep saying this will be the week Adam Gase gets fired. At this point, I think they're keeping him the whole year. They're like, you were so bad. You were the prime example of how we can tank for Trevor. Yeah, the Chiefs are just gonna wreck the Jets. 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. This might go down as one of the worst blowouts of all time. Moving to Baltimore. This is the game that I think should be the Sunday night game, not what the actual Sunday night game is. And I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm saying that. The Steelers at Baltimore. The fact that it's a 1 o'clock game is fascinating to me. You have the undefeated Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. In my opinion, Baltimore is I don't want to say desperate to win this game, because they're not. Baltimore's going to make the playoffs. There's no question about it. However, the Steelers are undefeated. Baltimore is not. The Steelers get a win on Baltimore. They jump up ahead of them. So the best that the Steelers the Ravens can ever do is tie the season series. Now, the Steelers are already ahead, but then it's the next level, that 2-game cushion that you pull. And at 7-0, you start to wonder, how many games do the Steelers actually have to lose for the rest of the season? So I would say the Ravens, I feel like, have to win this game just to not be fighting an uphill battle towards the division for the rest of the year. Because for a team like Baltimore, while making the playoffs are good, you want to win your division. So I'm going to go with Steelers plus 3.5. Honestly, I would go with the Steelers outright as well, but just for the video's sake, I'll say plus 3.5 for the Steelers, absolutely. I think their defense is going to give Lamar Jackson a lot of issues. The Ravens this year, their offense has not been as dominant as it was last year. They're still a very good team, but they're not as dominant as they were. Defenses are starting to figure out a little bit how to scheme them. In our last of the 1 o'clock games, the Titans at the Bengals. Titans are 6-point favorites. I'm going with the Titans. And here's the thing. I think Cincinnati and Joe Burrow have done a lot of good to start this season. They've been in every game. Their record doesn't show up, but they've been in every game. They've looked very good. I would say go with the Titans minus 5.5 or minus 6. And simply based on this, Cincinnati's not a good run defense. That's their biggest issue. Running the ball kills them. Tennessee is just going to run wild. Derrick Henry's going to have himself a day. And I think by then, while Joe Burrow's look good, you put him in a position where he has to just outthrow he has to outthrow his own defense, basically. He's got to score because his defense can't stop them. It puts a lot of pressure on the rookie, and I just think it's not going to be enough for the Bengals to keep up. And I would go with the Titans minus 6. Moving on to the 4 o'clock games, though, we're going to go with the Chargers at the Broncos. The Broncos, big yikes last week. They just got dump trucked by the Kansas City Chiefs. It was not pretty. The Chargers, not as bad. The Chargers, they looked good last week against the Jags. Their defense didn't look great, but their offense looked really good. I'm going to take the Chargers minus 3. I think Justin Herbert right now is pushing hard to be Rookie of the Year. I mean, seriously. And Joe Burrow's played well, but Justin Herbert, I think, has been the shocker of, even myself, I didn't think Justin Herbert would be bad. I didn't think Justin Herbert would come and lead the league in interceptions, anything like that. I just thought he'd be like a very pedestrian-numbered quarterback. He is not. He has just been lighting the world on fire for the Chargers, and they seem to have found their quarterback of the future. So, I'm going to say Chargers minus 3. I think this for Justin Herbert is going to be another one of those games where, like last week, he's just lighting teams up. And I think it's going to continue. He's just going to be on a hot streak here. Going to Soldier Field, the Saints at the Bears. I'm going to take the Saints minus 4. And this one's difficult. And the main reason why is Michael Thomas is still out for the Saints. That's a saga that I think is not getting enough coverage right now. Like, what in the world are the Saints going to do with Michael Thomas right now? They're not playing him, and it's all in suspension. What do you do? So I would take the Saints -4, and that's only because of the Bears. While I believe they're 5-2 now after losing last Thursday. The Bears, or Monday, I'm sorry, not Thursday, Monday. The Bears, to me, are a team that's been winning on luck. Like, you watch them, their defense is still really good, but you watch their games and you're like, how are you winning? Like, this is not great for you guys. So I would absolutely take the Saints -4 here. And the last of the 4 o'clock games, the 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. And Seattle earlier in the year was doing the anti-Seattle to me. Normally, whenever I bet on Seattle, they don't cover. And when I bet against Seattle, they do cover. And I hate them. They started this season just working for me every which way. They haven't been working for me anymore. I would go with the Niners +2.5 here. Seattle, I think Seattle's starting to come back down to earth. They started out hot. They've played a lot of kind of suspect competition. They haven't played brutally difficult competition. Their defense is starting to get exposed, and I think that's the issue. Their defense is struggling right now. And the 49ers offense is starting to get back into a rhythm and starting to get rolling again, especially after the game they had where they just wrecked the Patriots, who, while struggling, still have a very good defense. So I would take, this is another one, 49ers +2.5. I would also just take the 49ers outright. I mean, whenever you get like under 3, start thinking about taking a team outright. We're moving on. I don't even want to talk about this game right now. Sunday Night Football for really sole possession of the NFC least. Cowboys coming to my home city of Philadelphia and taking on my Philadelphia Eagles. Look, one's 2-5, one's 2-4-1. I think Washington's 2-5, and the Giants are 1-6. It's a bad division. It's going to be, do all these teams stay bad, or does somebody figure it out? And this is my bias talking, but I think it's going to be the Eagles are going to be the team that figure it out. And the reason I say this is because they're getting healthy, which is a scary thought. They lost a lot of guys really early in the season to injury. Now you have a lot of guys coming back. And, you know, this week they're activating Dallas Goedert, who's been out for quite a few weeks. They're activating Jalen Reagor, who's been out quite a few weeks. And now with Carson getting comfortable with the offense, you got to think Jalen Reagor's going to get the ball now. Their rookie wide receiver from TCU. The Cowboys, on the other hand, they just traded Everson Griffin, who they just signed in the offseason. They got Ben DiNucci starting, the dude that committed to the Penn Quakers, then decommitted from there, went to Pitt, then wasn't playing at Pitt because he couldn't beat Kenny Pickett for a job, then left Pitt, went to James Madison, played well at D1AA James Madison, and got drafted in the 7th round this year. Yeah, I don't think he's going to work. The Eagles' D-line has been their constant. They've just been applying pressure every game this year, and I don't think it's going to change. You know, the Cowboys' O-line, Cowboys' been bad, and you look at their O-line and you wonder, how are they going to survive? Because with a bad O-line, they've been able to run the ball with Zeke. Zeke's struggling to get going. So now you need to throw the ball, which is what they were doing at the beginning of the part of the year. Dak was keeping plays alive and throwing the ball. DiNucci's not going to do that. I mean, he looked last week against the team formerly known as the Redskins like a deer in headlights. I mean, he played a little bit in that game, and I mean, the moment some pressure got to him, he just cowered up, and that was the end of it. And I think you're going to see a lot of that. The Eagles, 8-point favorites. Take the Eagles. It's a big spread, and you'd almost say, why would you take the Eagles? Take the Eagles. The Cowboys' offense is just, they're not going to turn it around from last week where they played Washington, where their offense is going to look good. This is a team that is in just desperate straits right now. Their receiver core is really good, but you just don't have the running game because your O-line's bad, and you don't have the protection because your O-line's bad, and you have a quarterback who's really, any other team, you know, half the teams in the league wouldn't even sign to the practice squad. That's a problem. And I think that's where you're going to see the Eagles really just take over and dominate. You've got the Bucs at the Giants for Monday Night Football, the last game of the week. The Bucs are 10.5-point favorites. I would take them. 10.5 is a scary number. It's always that scary number because it's a 3-score game essentially because they always figure the field goal in there. It's 2 touchdowns, but it's a 3-score game basically. The problem is the Bucs are rolling. I mean, their offense is humming right along. The Giants, they played valiantly against the Eagles, but the Eagles are not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The offense is not the same. The Giants' defense is not great. So I would absolutely go with Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My fantasy team would really like Mike Evans to have more than 2 catches in a game, or 1 catch for 15 yards in a game. That'd be cool, Mike. You know, hey Tom, throw the ball to Mike Evans. But I would absolutely say that the Bucs will dominate the Giants at 10.5. I would take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are my Week 8 predictions. This is the Sports Degenerate Show. Please follow me on Instagram at sports_degenerate_show. I usually put in my stories some game picks during the week, some college picks, stuff like that. I also post some stuff on Instagram about stories going on in sports, in my opinion, on them before I can make a video on them. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Leave some comments down below. Tell me if you like what I'm saying, what you don't like. If there's a game, maybe you think, Seattle's going to just dominate the 49ers, and I'm completely wrong. Maybe you think that maybe Washington can win the NFC East over the Eagles. It's always a possibility. They did beat them week 1. I'm interested. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But, as always, I'm Frank Wible. This is the Sports Degenerate Show, and thank you for stopping by.